The spotlight cuts through the darkness. 80,000 voices rise as one. Then, silence. Beyoncé Knowles-Carter, mid-song, freezes. Her eyes lock on something in the crowd. Security tenses. The band holds. For 3 impossible seconds, the world's biggest performer does the unthinkable. She stops everything. What she saw in that sea of faces would reshape how millions understand the power of a single moment. If you love stories where humanity breaks through the spectacle, you're in exactly the right place. What happens next proves that even icons are moved by something bigger than fame. Stay with me. It's July 14th, 2018. London's Wembley Stadium pulses with anticipation. The On the Run 2 tour, Beyoncé and Jay-Z's joint conquest across continents, has reached its European apex. This isn't just a concert, it's a cultural event. Tickets sold out in minutes. Fans traveled from 30 countries. The production cost rivals a blockbuster film. 4-story LED screens, pyrotechnics, a 100-person crew. The set list spans 2 decades of hits. The choreography is military precise. Everything is calibrated for perfection. But perfection, as the night will prove, is not the same as magic. Magic requires vulnerability. And vulnerability is about to walk through the front gates in a floral dress and sensible shoes, clutching her granddaughter's hand. Her name is Mabel Richardson, 74 years old, a retired schoolteacher from Brixton. She raised 3 children alone after her husband passed in 1992. She taught primary students to read for 40 years. Her pension is modest. Concerts like this? Not in the budget. But 6 months ago, her granddaughter Amara, 22, a university student working 2 jobs, surprised her. 2 tickets, front section, row 12. Mabel cried for an hour. She hadn't been to a concert since 1978. Amara knew what this meant. Beyoncé's music had been the soundtrack to their kitchen, their car rides, their healing after Amara's mother, Mabel's daughter, died of cancer 4 years prior. The songs weren't just entertainment, they were survival. Beyoncé herself stands center stage, draped in gold sequins that catch every light like armor. She's 36, at the peak of her powers. Her voice tonight is flawless. Every run, every whisper, every belt delivered with surgical precision. Jay-Z commands the opposite end of the stage, his presence grounding the show's kinetic energy. Between them, 16 dancers move like liquid. The crowd is delirious. They've performed Holy Grail and Drunk in Love. They've brought down the house with Formation and N-words in Paris. The energy is volcanic. Beyoncé thrives here, in control, untouchable, divine. But divinity, she will soon remember, is not the same as connection. Connection requires seeing, and she's about to see something that will crack her open in front of 80,000 witnesses. The transition begins. The band downshifts into the opening chords of Halo. It's a quieter moment in the set. The lights dim to soft blue. The screens show close-ups of Beyoncé's face, serene and focused. This is a song she's performed thousands of times. Muscle memory, breath control, emotional calibration. She walks the stage slowly, microphone held like a prayer. Her voice lifts. Remember those walls I built? Well, baby, they're tumbling down. The crowd sways. Lighters, well, phone flashlights now, flicker like stars. It's beautiful, predictable, safe. Beyoncé scans the audience as she sings, a habit born from years of connecting with her fans. Her eyes drift across the front sections. That's when she sees her. Row 12. An older black woman, hands pressed to her face, tears streaming openly. Not the delighted tears of a fan getting their moment. Something deeper, grief, gratitude, surrender. The woman's shoulders shake. Her granddaughter beside her wraps an arm around her, but the woman doesn't look away from Beyoncé. Their eyes meet, just for a beat. But in that beat, something unspoken passes between them. Beyoncé knows this look. She's seen it before, in her own mother's eyes when life got heavy, in the faces of women who carry the weight of generations. This isn't starstruck emotion. This is life pouring out through a song. The kind of moment that reminds you why you sing in the first place. Inside, Beyoncé feels the shift. Her throat tightens. The next line hesitates on her lips. The band continues, expecting her to hold the course. The dancers maintain formation, but her body has already decided. Slowly, without announcement, Beyoncé lowers the microphone. She takes 2 steps toward the barricade. Security instinctively moves forward. The crowd murmurs, confused, excited, uncertain. Is this part of the show? Beyoncé extends her hand, not to the celebrity guests in VIP, not to the front row influencers filming everything, to the woman in row 12, to Mabel. The band catches on. The music softens but doesn't stop. Jay-Z watches from across the stage, a small smile crossing his face. He's seen his wife do spontaneous things before, but this is different. Beyoncé signals security to let Mabel approach. Amara, stunned, helps her grandmother to her feet. Mabel's legs are shaking. 80,000 people are watching. But Beyoncé's gaze is steady, warm, inviting. Mabel moves toward the barricade like someone walking through a dream. When she reaches the edge, Beyoncé kneels. The 2 women are face to face now. No stage, no distance. Just 2 human beings sharing space. Beyoncé doesn't speak. She doesn't need to. She reaches through the gap and takes both of Mabel's hands. The older woman's tears come harder now. Beyoncé squeezes gently. Mabel mouths something. Maybe, thank you. Maybe something else. Beyoncé nods. She understands. The stadium, usually a roar of noise, has gone church quiet. People in the nosebleed sections are squinting at the screens, trying to understand what they're witnessing. Those close enough to see are holding their breath. This isn't performance, this is presence. Then Beyoncé does something no one expects. She begins to sing again, but not into the microphone. She sings directly to Mabel, soft, intimate. The words of Halo transform from arena anthem to lullaby. The microphone dangles in her other hand, forgotten. Her voice, raw and unamplificated, carries just far enough for those nearby to hear. Mabel closes her eyes. Her lips move with the lyrics. She knows every word. For 30 seconds, the biggest show on earth shrinks to the size of a conversation between 2 women who have carried heavy things. When the moment ends, it ends gently. Beyoncé kisses Mabel's hands. She stands, wipes her own eyes, and raises the microphone again. The band swells. The crowd erupts, not in screams, but in something deeper. A collective exhale, applause that sounds like relief. Mabel is guided back to her seat by security, but Amara catches Beyoncé's eye and mouths "thank you" with her whole body. Beyoncé nods once, then turns back to the stage. She finishes Halo with more power than before, but the power is different now. It's not about perfection, it's about purpose. Backstage, the crew is buzzing. The tour manager, the sound engineers, the dancers, everyone felt it. Moments like that don't happen on a set list. They happen when someone chooses to be human in front of the machine. Jay-Z finds Beyoncé after the show. He doesn't say much, just pulls her close. She's still processing. Later, she'll tell interviewers that she doesn't fully remember making the decision. Her body just moved. Something in Mabel's face told a story that needed acknowledgement. Not a photo op, not content, just connection. Within hours, fan-shot videos flood social media. Vertical phone footage shows the moment from a dozen angles. The comments are unanimous. "I've never seen anything like this. She really sees people." This is why she's the greatest. News outlets pick it up by morning. Entertainment Weekly runs a feature. BBC interviews Amara, who tearfully explains that her grandmother had been playing Beyoncé's music every morning since her daughter died, that those songs were how she survived the grief. That being seen by the artist who helped her breathe again felt like a miracle. Mabel herself, when asked, simply says, "She didn't have to stop, but she did." That's grace. The moment becomes a reference point. Other artists cite it in interviews when asked about the relationship between performer and audience. Fans use it as proof that celebrity doesn't have to mean detachment. Psychologists write about the power of acknowledgement, how being seen, especially in grief, can shift something fundamental inside a person. Beyoncé doesn't comment much beyond a single Instagram post, a photo of the crowd that night with the caption, "You remind me why I do this. Thank you for letting me be human with you." But the deeper legacy isn't about Beyoncé, it's about Mabel. And every grandmother, mother, survivor in that stadium who realized their story mattered, that their tears weren't invisible, that the artist they loved wasn't just a voice on a stage, but a person capable of breaking her own script to honor someone else's pain. That's the real viral moment, not the spectacle. The stop. The choice to see one face in 80,000 and say, "You are not alone." Months later, Amara shares that her grandmother listens to Halo differently now. It's no longer just a song about love. It's a song about being witnessed, about a night when the world stopped for 3 seconds and her grief was held by someone who didn't owe her anything except the performance she'd paid for, but who gave her everything instead. Mabel keeps the ticket stub in a frame beside a photo of her daughter. She tells her friends the story once, maybe twice. Then she stops. Not because it isn't important, but because some experiences are too sacred to wear out with retelling. They're meant to be carried quietly, felt, not performed. So what do we take from a moment like this? Maybe that the most powerful thing any of us can do, famous or not, on stage or off, is stop. Stop the script. Stop the performance. Stop long enough to see the person in front of us, to recognize that behind every face in every crowd is a story that deserves acknowledgement. Beyoncé didn't solve Mabel's grief that night. She didn't bring back her daughter. But she did something almost as profound. She saw her. And sometimes, being seen is the bridge between surviving and living. Now I want to hear from you. When was the last time someone truly stopped for you? Or when did you stop for someone else? Drop your story in the comments. Let's honor the Mabels and the moments that remind us we're all human. And if this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to remember that they matter. See you in the next one.